Oh my god.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, and welcome back to the DK 109 channel for a bit more D&D because it is a Saturday, which means that we are joined by the Saturday Spiders, or at least most of them, and I mean that in that I've got 4 out of the 5 players, and one of those players has got 3 out of their 4 limbs. Yeah, some stuff happened last week, yeah, Nimriel had a scrap with a wolf, and it did not go quite as well as could have gone.
I don't like
soon,
how you
Gary,
made
too
that
soon.
sound. I don't like how you made that sound like I was just there being an idiot with myself.
Well, I mean, you
There's a
did.
certain dwarf to blame for this,
Yeah,
okay?
you did kind of
Yeah,
like
but-
get involved in the scrap. Yeah, there's a certain dwarf who isn't here this week.
He did his part to win the fight, alright?
Yeah, he made sure that the larger, more dangerous direwolf was subject to a certain amount of the berserk rules that apply to berserkers and rage and stuff. That was very, very well masterful stroke of genius by the little ranger. But yes, as you may have heard some of the voices, this week we have got pretty much everyone here. We are missing Sean, who plays Rollenhammer, but we have got Westlaw, who plays Pook.
Hello.
We've got Badger, who plays Grokash.
Howdy.
We got Dakota, who plays Namir.
Hello, everybody.
And we got Ty, that plays Nimriel.
Yo,
Or most of her, anyway.
most of it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's on its own bitch, you know?
Oh, yeah. So, last week...
Medic! Oh wait,
Yeah.
it's too late.
Oh, God, it's like, it already lost a limb, now it's got a sick burn. Shit. But yeah, so last week, the party... Well, I'll show you what happens to the party. That's probably the best thing I can do. There we go. So, let's just move this thing over to here. Because this is pretty much what happened to the party. In no uncertain terms. They went to a wolf den on a hunt for some wolves. And Grokash...
It
did
even
some
looks like a
fantastic...
Warzone.
Yeah, it basically was. Grokash did some fantastic spell stuff to try and distract the wolves, or at least the big bad dangerous one. Let me just change the audio as well. There was some other genius crossbow work from the little dwarf that shouldn't, who did come very, very close to death as well. By the way, I think it has to be said. In all fairness, the dwarf did nearly die.
Very close, very close.
And from the sounds of it, may not make it out of this scene. Yeah, this is where we got to. Dakota, what does Namir remember from this moment? Because she was the last one to act, so I think it'd be a good taking off point.
Numia remembers the battle going more poorly than was anticipated, and that the gathering of bait was completely and utterly pointless. That chickens and goats are not attractive to wolves compared to armored and weapon riddled.
Yeah, I mean, like if you had the
opponents?
choice between attacking a helpless creature and attacking the thing that's trying to kill you, you would go for the helpless creature every time, wouldn't you?
Of
Is
course.
now an appropriate time to say called it, or shall I just...
I think he called it Wolfie actually, but yeah.
Mm.
It was useless.
No, Wolfie is my pet.
And his
Yeah.
parent, on all the inanimate, all the livestock is still alive.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, some of the chickens did
Nia's-
get away through the nature of how you were throwing the boxes and the boxes were exploding open.
True that.
Chicken grenade.
But at this point, Namia is really, her memory is focused on the fact that Nimriel took a very violent and life-threatening injury as well.
Violent?
As
What other kind of life-threatening injury do you know about, huh? Friendly?
Well, they're accidental. They're accidental.
It's a fucking
life-threatening
succubus.
injuries.
Careful. Suck him dry.
They do, to be
This was
fair.
not an accident. This was the wolf wanted to end you.
Fucking something like that.
I still think that the wolf was the victim here. I mean, like you, literally home invaders that killed her child.
You know what's frustrating is that the cub that got killed to cause the berserk rage, Nimriel wanted to try and befriend, but didn't get to do any of that because some cunt with a crossbow came in. Okay, she had no intention of angering the mother, not even for like a second. If she had to fight it, it would have been like a jolly good duel. That's it. Not I'm going to rip your arm off because you're a dickhead. Oh, thanks. Wasn't actually me, but okay. Moving on.
Pook, I'll say it now. Pook does remember seeing a clone of himself appear that then did disappear shortly after the wolf died. There was an illusion, and some illusionary magic was performed by Grokash.
Oh, okay. Nothing as sinister as I was
Pook,
thinking. Then.
Pook does also remember where this little area here is. I'll actually put the ruler. Where this little area here is, that leads down. They put like some traps and stuff there, and he stepped forward to do some sprays of fire, and. One of the things that was asked is, why is Pook standing at the front? Why is he not standing behind the rest of us? And it seemed like a very weird thing to me that question was asked, because should we be thinking a more accurate question is, why aren't the tanks standing in front of the ranged DPS?
That very much does sound like a question that I would ask.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like I was quite well embodying Pook in that regard. Basically, I just did Darius, or whatever the hell his name was before, and just dialed him back a little bit to get the character of Pook.
Fair enough.
But yeah, there was spells and stuff that were flung around, and crossbow bolts, and Roland Hammer very nearly didn't make it. Nimriel has lost her. Who's your right
Not all
arm?
of Nimriel has made it.
Yeah, was it your right arm that they extracted from the drawers of the
Right
direwolf? Make sure you put that into your inventory, somebody. Nimriel's right arm.
Nemea will take charge of Nimriel's arm.
No, you keep a hold of the rest of the fucking body, okay?
Well,
Can't hold all of it. You can't have all of her, okay?
well, why can't we have?
She's not a one-partner kind of person right now. She's a bit disembodied. Or her arm is, at least.
She be cradling
Hey, Shadow.
Nimriel and have the arm in Nimriel's lap?
What are you going to do? Attack our enemies with that arm while you carry me?
Beat them
Oh
to death
God,
with the soggy
can
end.
we do that?
Please don't beat them with the soggy end, because I want to put it back on.
It'll be
You're
an
just gonna
improvised
get
attack.
dropped. You're just gonna get dropped when we encounter enemies if we do. Just lay there. Hold on to your arm.
Wait,
with your
yeah, are you ambulatory?
I mean, it was, didn't actually go into shock, to be fair.
She just
Okay.
kind of...
Somehow,
asleep, basically. at
yeah,
that point.
somehow managed to not go into shock.
Yeah, what about that?
I think
No,
one of the last
that's
things
just
you did
adrenaline,
was
guys. That's just
Yeah, I
adrenaline.
Actually, to be fair, because you got a critical hit with your hand axe, and you actually managed to finish off the wolf, which was the really amazing thing. You got thrown down to the ground. To be fair, actually, you didn't end up doing a Constitution saving throw. No, you did. You did do a Constitution saving throw. You rolled a 12, and I said that was good enough to prevent you from going into shock and passing out from the blood loss. But you are very, very woozy. It was literally only just good enough for it. You are very, very woozy.
She's glazed.
You've got that slightly glassy eyes sort of thing going on. You know, that far away stare. You're getting memories of home. You know, every trope you can imagine is.
I have in my head like this imagining now of how it went down, and the fact that she didn't go into shock or anything. She probably just looked at the stump and went, "I was using that."
No, she's actually
Good
really
day.
angry. If she gets out of this, she's probably going to make Roland Hammer's face look like a punching bag.
Hey, Shadows.
I've got a funny feeling that Roland Hammer may well get finished.
She
off.
is. She's not going to kill him, but if someone doesn't drag her off of him, she's probably going to end up breaking
Yeah,
his
I can say that if you're interested, he looks very weak.
No, it's not on me to decide that. That's on her.
So,
I guess we'll find out how the arm situation goes.
You are let's just jump straight back into this, shall we? Okay, so you are surrounded by the corpses of several wolves and the almost corpses of a couple of your allies. Minepin is sitting in the tree, here next to a small baby goat that is bleating quite plaintively. Did I? No, I didn't. And all around you, you can hear that.
In the distance. In the distance. You see an occasional feather flutter out of a bush.
To be fair, the thing I was having quite a bit of fun with was every time Roland Hammer landed a crossbow bolt into the direwolf puppy, and this was fucking with Dakota so much, and I got far too much joy out of it.
It was terrible.
It was rude.
Every time.
Oh.
I swear I had the same reaction. I knew it was coming, and I was like, "Oh my god, where's the puppy?"
Every time a crossbow bolt landed, because I am a sick, horrible DM. I like to put my players through emotional turmoil.
So
yeah,
at the nearest,
but over
so
to you then, players.
Once the fight's done, Grokash is going to run back to Wolfie and get him out of the tree and tie him back around his chest.
Namia's
He's got one of those baby support things.
Stabilized.
Didn't Namira just like bolt off? I thought you were bolting off already.
No, well, I mean, we got to the point where you were stabilized, and then
Yeah, so
I think that was where we stopped.
where we ended last session was just got the tourniquet in place, and so you're still at the moment at that moment of the adrenaline is high, blood is pumping. You know, the tourniquet is very tightly in place, but it's still glistening wound, but it's not like spurting blood all over the place. But it's even with the tourniquet in place, he's still seeping a little bit.
Namia's gonna lightly slap Nimril on the face. You with me? Are you with me?
She's her reactions are very slow and no words.
Okay.
Roland Hammer is crawling up the hill over the direwolf corpse.
Okay.
Dan,
we're gonna get you to safety, she says to Nimril.
Just to confirm, Dan, like if I heal her, obviously I can't put the arm back on, but can I stop the bleeding, give her a bit of mentality back?
Well, I'll tell you, I'll let you use Cure Wounds as a spell to do it. That'll be like the weakest spell I'll let you do with it to basically. I'll let you do a Cure Wounds with a medicine check to essentially Cure Wounds with the medicine check to essentially see if you can make the stump scar over in a way. I mean, if you end up using a spell like Regenerate and stuff like that, anyway, you're going to be able to rebond to the socket. But it's in order to at least for now, temporarily you can do that. You also got the option of if you want to, you can try and quickly start a fire and cauterize it.
Wait, hang on
Or
a second.
if only you know somebody who can cast out fire bolts and stuff as well. Maybe.
Whoa! Hang on, is my microphone muted here? Hello. What about?
What I'm saying is, you've got options. Is what I'm saying.
Does anyone have a spell for preserving a dead body?
No.
I don't, but I've done.
Gentle repose, no.
That's a pain, because you could have just done that on the stump and the arm.
No, because that's not how that spell works.
Yeah, but wouldn't it help? It would stop them from deteriorating, no?
I've done the cure wounds
it's like a sanctuary spell thing.
So.
So what you've done with that is so you get 11 hit points back. You do feel energy coursing through your veins, but you're still feeling a bit lightheaded, but you're a bit more with it. So basically, you're still suffering essentially from the effects of having significantly less blood inside your body. But you're a bit more with it. You sort of you can feel like you've got like when you get that second wind, that moment of you have a can of Red Bull or something and you get some energy back in you, but you know you're going to pay for it later.
Oh yeah.
You've got a really strong sensation of that.
I was going to work the next day without sleeping and then having a coffee before you actually start your shift. That feeling when it kicks in.
Yeah, sort of thing. That moment of, well, shit, this is it'll do for now. But yeah, so you get the 11 hit points back, and with the medicine check, should not have been done at advantage.
Oh, my bad. That must have been...
So it would be the 8, so that's 11.
Namia will make sure
Actually,
Nimril.
no, because of the fact you're using the Cure Wounds with it, yeah, I'll let you have the advantage for having done. Oh, go away, McAfee. I'll let you have the advantage for it. Actually, because of the fact you are using Cure Wounds, and it did roll like the max that it can do. So yeah, we'll give you that.
Wait, what's that?
So you do the 19 on the medicine check. The bleeding has completely stopped. You see that it's already starting to like generate some scar tissue and that over the stump. It's not like healing it over completely. You can it's basically like a compound fracture. You can still see the bone. But it's something. If you get the feeling that if you look at it, it's suddenly going to start hurting a lot more again, as your brain will recognise that this should hurt. That's that sort of wound. I hope that goes well to describe the sort of situation you're in.
Nemia will get Nimril's arm and she'll hand it to Grokash, and then she'll start to pick Nimril up.
Okey-dokes.
So Grokash is just going to tie the arm to like the back of her and be like, "You two run ahead with Roland Hammer. You'll travel faster that way."
Roland Hammer looks like he's had several shades of orc shit kicked out of him.
Oh,
Why does a dwarf have so much orc shit in him?
that useless cunt.
I mean, he is looking really, really weak. He's looking like he's only just barely holding on to life as it is.
One fucking job.
And he does kind of make I'll run ahead. How do you make your legs run again? I've forgotten.
Roland Hammer is as alive as his host is present.
Yeah.
We just need to get back to Neverwinter, Roland Hammer, and she doesn't have any hands to pat him on the shoulder, but she taps him on the shoulder with her tail.
How's Pook?
How am I?
Well, you can see your character sheet in terms of like your health and use spell slots. It was technically classed as like a boss fight, which is why you've ended up using quite a few of your spells. But I did try to leave you one or two.
Yeah. Okay. I'm fine. I'm just more worried about these guys.
So I tell you you need to take charge, get these people back there. I'm gonna skin the wolves and get the pelts. I'll catch up.
Right, time is of the essence. Let's move.
Okay, right. So we'll do you guys heading off in a moment. So basically, you guys have disappeared into the brush, as it were. Is Roland Hammer going with you, or is Roland Hammer staying with Grokash because he doesn't?
We need Roland Hammer
will
to
need
track
to
us
get
out of
back.
here.
Roland Hammer's going to be guiding you on the way back. Okie dokie, that could be interesting. We shall take care of that shortly. Okay, so whilst we're here on this panel still, though, let's have Grokash do some rolling for some survival checks. So how many dead wolves have we got total? We've got two. We've got a big dire wolf, little dire wolf, and 1, 2, 3.
For the little dire wolf
4,
in
5,
particular, I want to like just cut the head
7.
off so that I can one day make a helmet out of the skull.
Okay.
And can I search these bodies up to the like north bit, like the corpses? as well?
You can search those bodies if you would like to. For skinning the regular wolves, if you do me 3 survival rolls, just to basically take into account skinning those like them in three groups. So 21 and 12. One more.
I got 21, 12, 16.
I don't see the 16.
Has anyone seen it yet, or is it?
12, yeah.
21, 12.
What the? Okay, I'll do it again. Oh, that's weird.
Oh, there's the 16.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, so 21, 12, 16. Yep. So you have no issue skinning those wolves. So you can get yourself write yourself down that you've got 8 wolf pelts. Bear in mind, obviously, you may need to work out some way of getting just this much matter back to the city on your own.
I was gonna make a sled out of wood.
Yeah, as far as I was saying, I'm just saying. Bear in mind that you've got X amount of stuff. It's going to take you a bit of ingenuity to get it back on your own. Let's have a survival check from you for this little direwolf.
Oh God, please do
Just
well.
to
I
skin
want this
that
helmet.
one. And are you actually trying to skin it, or do you just
I just wanted to decapitate it first.
you just want to decapitate it?
But I mean, I rolled fucking awfully.
Yeah. I mean, you start making some work around, like trying to get around, get through its hide, but it's just trying to cut through and decapitate the keratin reinforced skeleton of the direwolf. It's just you can't get through, and you're just making an absolute mess of it, and it ends up being just like it gets a bit mangled.
In that case, I guess I'll just have to try and salvage as much of the skin off that one and the big one as I can.
Okie dokie. Roll.
Damn, I wanted that fucking helmet.
Roll me another one more regular survival check, and then for the skinning of the big one, it has got a significantly thicker hide, so I'm going to say it'd be a disadvantage survival check to try and do that one because you're trying to do it on your own, and it's a big creature.
Oh,
yep. So you
man.
managed to skin the small direwolf without too much of an issue at all. The big one.
Come on. Bastard!
One
was a 15. That's so fucking sad.
Yeah. So with the bigger one, you're just making an absolute hash of it. You can't get through its hide properly. You feel like maybe if you'd done that one first, maybe you blunted your skinning knife when you were doing the other ones, and you haven't really had the opportunity to sharpen it up properly. But now it's too late. You know that moment when you start shaving. With a blunt razor, you've already ruined your face, haven't you? So it's not gone well on harvesting a hide from the big one. So you've got one direwolf puppy hide, 8 regular wolf hides, and that's what you've got from doing those. And you said you wanted to have a search through the pile of stuff. There are somebody up there. So on that one, then give me an investigation roll.
Oh God, investigation. Why am
Yup.
I so dumb? Why am I so dumb? 7. Oh, that was a disadvantage. I was not meant to be with disadvantage. Oh, that was 1 was the first roll anyway.
Yeah,
God,
it
fucking
was
damn it.
still the first roll. So yeah, it's well, you found some bones.
God, I hate being dumb.
Yeah.
Get them all out of the way before I have to roll and lose another arm.
So you failed your death save. Lose another arm.
So what's left of the smaller direwolf?
I
got the pelt off.
It's a skinned carcass with a quite severely mangled neck and head area where you've tried to cut through it and it's just not worked.
Nah, fuck it. I guess I'll just start making the sled and then heading back, following the path they
Right.
make.
So we'll leave you doing that whilst we pick up then with the party who are trying to find their way home.
Can we assist rolling him so he has advantage on survival checks to get us home?
You can do that. Well, you're carrying and looking after Nimriel, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
And Nimriel is trying not to die.
Mm-hmm.
Pook, are you proficient in survival?
I don't think.
I know you've got a couple of random skills in there through.
No, I'm not. I'm actually distinctly average in survival.
Right.
I have +0.
Distinctly. Was there an incident?
Yeah, there's no one actually. There's no one who's trained in the skill to be able to give to it. If that makes sense.
And which one?
Well, you're unconscious, really, kind of like dipping in and out of consciousness. I'm not quite sure how good you're going to be at the whole finding the way back.
Was it survival?
Yeah.
Wow, is no one better than me at survival?
What? No.
Aside from
Roland.
the obvious.
Roland Hammer's not very good at it anyway, so probably not.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, so well, let's see what he's doing. So he's trying to get back on the quickest, most safest route possible. That's a little bit awkward there. He's managed to roll a 2.
Dear Lord.
Right. Tiamat falls from the sky. No.
Hello.
Yeah, he takes you back through the actual route that you took. He's clearly he's not really with it properly. The best he's able to do is to follow back through the tracks that you had. So over the course of the next few minutes, you find yourself going through several sites you've already seen before. You know, like, oh, you remember that pond, you remember that particularly shaped lightning struck tree, you remember the skeleton of the dragon. You're going back, and you are just following the route that you took to get to where you are now, and it takes you about an hour and a half to get back to Neverwinter.
The majority of the time, Nemia's chattering inanely, and it just in an attempt to keep Nimriel awake, even to the point of possibly irritating her,
Right.
for the sake of keeping her awake.
That's one of the things I was going to ask about in that bit. But so in that regard, then from Nimriel, can I have an advantaged Constitution check due to the level of medical work that's been done on you already, level of healing magic that's been used on you already, and the level of care you are currently receiving? You get to do this check at advantage. Yeah, so you're still like blitzing in and out of consciousness. You have those like moments where like, you know, oh wait, how much further along as we through? Is the sky a little bit darker now? And hey, I don't. When did we pass by that mountain? And so like you're having like those moments where like you're passing out for a couple of minutes, then you're back again. You're just like you're in and out of consciousness, but you're not you're not slipping away. Of course, the other roll was a 4, which would have meant that you spent most of this journey back asleep. But let's get you. Okay, so it takes, like I say, it takes about an hour and a half to get back to Neverwinter. So let's get you back to the city, just in case you have any ideas of things you want to do. There you go. Have some town audio.
When we hit the gate, Nemia is going to holler at the first guard she sees and say, we need help. We need a cart to get to the nearest temple.
Okay, so you're coming in through the south gate, which is the one down here. So remember that one being the one you went out via. Yep. So that is actually got you pretty much an almost direct route to the religious district, but it very encouragingly goes through the graveyards. So that's inspiring. Grokash, you're about half an hour behind them. Just by the nature of that, you've taken the time to do some of the skinning. You've taken the time to put together a sled. But yeah, you're essentially then you're just following what is by now quite a clear path back. And you're essentially you're the whole of the journey back. You're basically catching up with them. So you arrive like half an hour, 45 minutes later. You'll be arriving at the gates after like 45 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes after they've passed through the gate is when you're going to be getting there.
Awesome.
Okay, so so the guards, they see you come in, and there's the expected clamour and hustle and bustle around you, and they manage to flag down or find a hand cart to put Nimriel onto, so you can go about your way. Is there a particular temple you want to seek out? Is there a particular place that you have in mind? Or have we just lost Dakota to the storm again?
No, I was just thinking, I mean, for her, her first thought is always to go to Helm. Can I roll a religion check to see if she, or is it just everyone knows who the light gods are?
Well, I mean, I think you're somewhat stressed at this point, so I'll let you do a religion check to see if you can scan through your brain and remember who it is you want to go for. Because obviously you've got that moment of thinking like, oh yeah, who's it going to go for? But let's see. So
well, I do remember Tyr's the biggest temple, right? That's the focus in Neverwinter.
Tyr is the biggest temple.
So her
yeah, you
initial
do
thought
remember
is
that, yeah.
always Helm, but do remember that Tyr is the biggest temple.
Well,
So
so
I
you,
guess-
you do remember Tyr, you do remember Helm, and you also remember the having gone because you went out through the North Gate several times, and that is near to where all like the farmland, like the main focus of the farmland and stuff. And you do remember that there is out that way there is a shrine to Lathander as well.
Okay, so and of course we've been to the Ilmater Temple.
You've been to
Temper.
the Temple of Ilmater as well.
Okay,
Ilmater.
so we're coming this direction. So I'm assuming whichever temple we see first, coming in from the south.
Oh, that sounds like something I should randomize. Let's see now. Hamps? Remind me. Let's have a quick read again and see exactly how many gods there are, because there's like 26 gods and stuff, isn't there? 2, 4,
There's a
6,
fair few.
8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, 4, 6, 8, 32, 4, 6, 7. So there's basically, to all intents and purposes, there's 40 gods. So I'm just going to roll a...
Nimriel's going to
13
deliver
twos together.
Nimriel to a fucking satanic ritual.
You know what?
She's not gonna like take her into Kalimvor, like the god of death. She's not gonna take her in there.
Turn her into like a
Well, the thing is,
fucking wraith
the
or
actual
something.
like proper evil gods, there aren't going to be temples and shrines to, but there may be like hidden shrines and things. So it's like, do you end up being distracted by seeing someone who's wearing robes, but it turns out they're actually cultist robes, and you'd end up taking them down to a temple of Leviatar that's hidden in the sewers or something like that. So that is that. So
Like if we hit Lathander first, that would be sweet.
14, 16, 18, 22.
Nimriel's flexing the fingers of her right arm. Good old fashioned bit of Ghostlim.
Well, that's interesting. The first
That's the kind of-
the first temple that you see, where it jumps out of you as being a place where there is some worship and stuff going on, is you see a temple of Soon. And there's a procession that's going past. There's a lot of very, very beautiful priestesses that are all with nice long flowing red hair, and they're all like carrying like wreath of
There's some irony
flowers
here.
and things like that. So it's there is a procession that is heading towards the temple, and that's what catches your eye as you're entering the area. You see that, and you're like, "Oh, stuff, go!"
Priestess, please, can you help us?
And they don't really seem to be fully paying attention. Seems to be quite taken up in their prancing about.
I gotta try for an intimidation. Pay the fuck attention to me.
I'm not, given the fact that you of the how everything is going off, I'll let you have advantage on it as well.
Okay, let's see here. Advantage. Priestess, you are needed.
Sounded.
I don't know if I
That
have or
sounds-
not.
That sounded intimidating as fuck.
The last priestess in the procession in the train that's going by seems to snap out of whatever trance the dancers and stuff has induced within her, and just seems to just notice you for the first time, and she apologizes profusely. She didn't mean to ignore you at all. She says, and the first thing she says after that, she makes comment on how beautiful your horns are, and the ostentatious, wonderful jewelry you have attached to them.
Oh god damn.
It's not the time, priestess.
Is this a good time for Nimriel to mumble fucking hippies?
Yeah, probably not, but you can if you want to. Let's find out if you're awake first. Have a constitution check.
Hit me another one of those fucking constitution checks, huh?
I like the idea that every time you open your mouth, he's like, yeah, nah, constitution check.
I know, it's an advantage, but you rolled a 19 as the first number anyway, so I'll let you have it. Yeah, so you're awake and aroused. Because they are just that pretty. This also translates vaguely as "don't be a dick." I will always turn a dice roll to my favor. But yeah, so she apologized profusely to having ignored you. She didn't mean to. They're there in the middle of doing one of their, or the end of doing one of their processions, and she asked, what do you need help with? How can she help?
My friend was struck in battle and lost her arm. We need the aid of a god. You are a priestess of Soon, are you not?
Well, yes, of course.
Can you assist us?
Well, there are those within our order that are able to restore the beauty that people lose. They have the ability to help them to regenerate their prior youth and such. But that is a lot of it. It comes down to how much of Soon's beauty lies within that person. All we are able to do, even our most powerful seers, all they're able to do is to release that inner beauty back to the fore. If the beauty is not there to begin with, there is very little that we can actually do to heal someone.
How not obvious is it that Nimriel's a fucking Aasimar?
Well, I mean, like, she passes as human.
A good-looking human.
What's your charisma score again?
14.
That's pretty above average.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're like a 7.5.
Numi is kind of like left speechless at this, and she kind of motions to Nimriel like, is she pretty enough? She doesn't say that, but it's kind of like, well, does she pass snuff?
You tell me, I don't know.
And it's like, well, as a follower of Soon, I see the beauty in all things, but it's not about what I
Well, who would help?
Well,
if not Soon.
I feel like I maybe have been a little bit unclear there. Soon sees the beauty within all of us. And there are those around here that you may see as being beautiful, but all it takes is a moment to converse with them, and you'll realize that they are as ugly as can be. And then your companion there, the rather short fellow. There are those who would say that short people are not attractive, but I can see within him there is a great amount of knowledge.
She goes to interrupt her and says, "Does Soon like money?"
Soon is not one swayed by wealth.
God damn, what a waste of time this bitch is.
Oh dear, we're going to hell, all of us.
I should point out that this time, throughout this entire time, Roland Hammer has just been staring with his jaw open because he's not here to defend himself.
Do we see another temple nearby?
You can have another look around if you'd like to. Why
It's a useful temple nearby.
Why don't you give me an investigation roll? Actually, no. It would be survival. It would be survival because you are trying to find you are trying to find a location. So it would be survival. But I've set a DC in my head.
Can I not use investigation?
Yeah.
Do you intend on guiding people anywhere?
You know what? I'll let you point out, through your knowledge and your intelligence, you're able to point out a few things and you remember a few more names of a few gods, so you can provide advantage to whoever is doing the survival check. Even though you're not actually proficient in survival yourself.
What, you mean, what with an at 20?
Yeah.
I'll let you provide advantage to the person doing the survival check. Does not mean roll an investigation and I accept the crit. It means you can provide advantage to the person doing the survival check.
Hey, come on, I wasted my cheats on that.
No. It's like I gave you a set of parameters. You said, "Well, I'm going to do this." It's like it doesn't matter how well you did the thing you did. That wasn't what the parameters said.
I wanted to roll a dice.
Like a healthy
I've done
toilet
nothing.
break.
I wanted to roll some dice.
Who wants to roll the survival check? Who wants to be the person trying to lead through the crowd, or do we hand over to Roland Hammer, who at this point has started to drool?
Nemea will actually slap Roland Hammer across the face. Get it together. We should look for a temple of Lysander.
Of which one?
Lysander.
Lathander. Okie dokie. And I'll give him advantage on this because you did do the invest. Yeah, I said you do for pointing places out. The 16. Grab my book again. Lathander, yeah.
Yes, sir.
He remembers that the temple / shrine of Lathander is on the North Road out of the city. It's actually outside of the city. The temple to Lathander is.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck. That's too far away. Shit. Well, we know where the Temple of Ilmater is. I haven't found the Temple of Helm yet. Pook, you know more about the gods. Is there another god offhand? Fuck.
I know about the gods. I think you're speaking to the wrong gnome.
I think Pook's got some academic knowledge of the gods in terms of you know, he would have read about them at times, wouldn't he?
Can I make a religion check to see if I can recall anything that I would have come across in my
You
studies?
can do, because of the nature of what this is, and it's as much as anything else is like a recalling information thing. I was going to let you do it at advantage.
Okay. I should roll again and hope I get more than a 9. That was a 5. Good.
Well,
Yes.
I think this is karma for rolling an investigation when you weren't meant to.
How is that karma?
Because that's why. Because why? Because you decided you wanted to do a thing that was different to what I told you to do. Let's see.
I didn't take someone's lunch.
An interesting definition of karma. You did different.
I mean, you might have stolen somebody else's crit that would have gotten them lunch, so you never know.
Yeah, that's how chance works.
Exactly.
That is how chance works, that's true.
There's only like so many opportunities available.
That's it. There's a finite amount of luck, and you wasted it.
Yeah, Pook is like really struggling to actually remember like which of the gods there are. He's never really been that much of the religion guy.
All right, fine.
Yeah, you're asking the wrong person. May I suggest that we seek someone who can actually cast some magic and go to the Mage's Quarter? Surely they would know.
We're here in the religious quarter. We got to find a temple. This is ridiculous. And she's going to look for the nearest commoner or guard she can find.
Oh, that works too. Why don't you just ask them around? So yeah, I think given the situation for it, I'm not going to be.
I'm asking for a friend, but if you'd lost a limb, where would you?
Just to basically see how who you end up getting information from more than anything else. Give it a quick little persuasion check.
Persuasion?
Yeah, it's a little persuasion check from Nemea. Yeah, so yeah, it doesn't take much to ask around. You spot one of the patrols of the 2 or 3 guards that go around together. Hey, Snow, the 2 or 3 guards that go around together, and you explain the situation, and they're a bit of a chat between them. It's clear that they each worship different gods, but they're trying to let it get between them. And they direct.
She's specifically gonna ask for the Helm Temple at this point. She's
she
has faith in Helm.
She's looking
and
for
she's
the
gonna
Helm
go to
Temple.
Helm. Yes.
Yep, that gets pointed out to you as being this rather large building up here.
Beautiful.
Along with Helm written on the front.
Yeah. So you can make your way. You can make your way through.
Isn't the
post haste.
arm on Nemea's back?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, then, all right.
Just giving you a high five. Just giving yourself a high five on your back.
Nimia's gonna head
Just a
head
body
straight
five.
for the Temple of Helm now that we know.
Straight to the Temple of
The
Hell.
best. Simply the best.
Okie dokie. So you get there. So it takes you about like 10 minutes or so to get through that. The somewhat bustling city's streets. You go past a few more processions. There's like censer bearers and stuff. Everything you would expect to see in a very heavily religious place. Is a lot of homeless people. So you get to the Temple of Helm.
Got any spare arms, Gov?
Arms for the poor.
No, I
Arms
don't.
for the poor.
Clearly.
Haha, it was a pun.
Oh no!
Puntastic.
Mm.
Fucking
love it.
terrible.
I quite liked it.
That's because you're a terrible person.
Also true.
What do we see when we enter the temple?
You see a rather it's quite a large temple. It's not the biggest one you've seen in the city, but it certainly does seem to be a very important one. Hang on, my PC's doing something weird. I'm hoping it's not about to die. Actually, you know what? I've just remembered. There is Helm is not a massive one in this city. I've just remembered how I knew I had this the Helm one written down somewhere else.
Retcon!
Yes, retcon. Helm is not a massive one. It is actually quite a small shrine, but it is in pretty much in that same location. It's sort of almost like a chapel. But it is made out of it is made out of fairly nondescript stonework. There is above the door and like the archway, there is the symbol of Helm. We have that the gauntlet with the eye on it. And as you're going up the steps to it, there is a prostrate human, I should say. Prostate human is something entirely different. But there is a prostrate human who is very, very clearly he's in some level of prayer, he's as you're going in, he gets up from his prayer and goes about picking up a broom and sweeping and tending the place.
At first glance, is it visible whether if he's a clergyman or just a?
At first glance, it's fairly clear that he's just like a supplicant or something.
Oh. Sir, do you know where the priest is?
The deacon, he's towards the back. I'll call him out for you, and he heads off towards the back of the place.
Nimriel,
thanks, that's not just going to move
you
that.
still awake?
Do I have to do a constitution save?
Yeah, what the hell not?
Shouldn't have asked.
Define.
You're phasing in and out still.
She'll take a little bit of her water skin and pour some on her face. Clean her face up a little bit. Try and keep her awake.
Yeah, so it's helping a bit, but you're still drifting in and out of consciousness. After a few minutes, after a couple of minutes, he comes back with someone who's in actual like proper robes and stuff. Introduces himself as the deacon. Yes, how can I help?
Yes, we're on a trip to the woods to help with the wolf problem, and our friend lost a limb in the process. We need assistance.
It's another wolf-related injury. There's a lot of that going around lately, it seems. There's just the other day, my young friend here, one of his companions was was set upon by some wolves. We even got to the point where they were brought here with a goblin shaman, keeping his life within him. It's very peculiar. There's a lot of stuff going on with the wolves of late.
She adjusts the cart and moves it forward so the deacon can see Nimrael, and she puts the cart down and says, "This is Nimrael. She's the one who lost her limb." And then
Yes, I can see that, Michelle.
Well, can you assist her?
I'm.
She'll pull the arm off her back and kind of hold it out.
I'm not a medic, and whilst Helm always watches over us and will seek to protect us, there is not much that I can do to really heal this level of wound. You would be better suited taking them to. Well, I don't know where, to be honest.
God damn. How does no one know where the hospital is?
I mean, this is an incredibly severe injury, you know. This isn't just like the my baby's got chicken pox sort of shit going on here. This is
Tis but a flesh wound. Come back and
this
fight
is
me, pansy.
very severe. This is very severe, yeah.
Can Helm not assist her? She is a great protector.
I will see if he is able to. I can see within you that definitely you are one who does protect. But I will see if I can, if the strength of Helm is indeed within. And so he goes over to the cart and he like puts hands on like one on her forehead, one on her like lower abdomen, and just like you see there's like a. It's not so much a glow around his hands, but you can definitely feel something in the air. There's some form of energy of some type is being utilised. Alright. Oh, that's awkward. Try that one instead. And that's just frankly just a fucking sign. Alright. Yes, it's like this one is not a child of Helm. She does not pride herself on protecting others in the way that you do.
Goddamn.
And
Can you let me know, by the way? I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Grogash.
I was just gonna say, Dan, can you let me know when Grokash would be back in the city?
Well, I think he'd be back to the city. It'd probably be about like because you guys got something through there, then up to there, so it's probably about another 50 minutes out from the city at this point.
Yeah, Roger.
Right, yeah. So you guys ready to go?
And you don't know of who could help? Would I know the Temple of Lathander is outside the city, and
Is she?
I know
Is she
there's
beholden to any god?
we've not discussed it. I don't know.
I will see if I can.
we're
I will see if
recent
I can at
companions.
least wake her to. Right. Might you give me another Constitution check, but the Constitution saving throw do it at advantage. Yeah. So you're up and awake for like a minute. Ty?
Yes.
Yeah, so
He was in character.
Yeah,
Was he
you're awake for about a minute, and well, I don't. Look, he's not asked or anything, but you find yourself like properly like, okay, yeah, I've just had the adrenaline shot, I'm alright. Nah.
Is this guy like right in her face?
Not so much. I mean, he's got his hand on your forehead and another one on your lower abdomen.
Just gonna push his hand off.
You
her
feel
abdomen.
you feel slightly warm and tingly.
Just gonna push that hand off her abdomen. That's a start.
Okay.
Nimrael, the priest wishes to know if you are, and she attempts to use the priest words, or if you are beholden to any gods that might be able to help.
No, I'm not. I don't speak to them.
Is there any that you would consider yourself more favourable to? Many people in this city worship of many different faiths. Is there any faith that you do have any following for?
I have faith in people. That is all I know.
You may be best taking them to a much larger temple, possibly. I do not know. I do not have the power here. Helm's reach here is not strong enough to be able to perform such a thing. And
There is a Tyr. Is he not the primary god here in Neverwinter?
yes, Tyr is the main deity of the city.
Is there a temple near here?
There is a temple, but it is not nearby. It has its own area. It is up near the Mages College.
I don't know what else to do, y'all. She looks at Pook and Rollenhammer. To go to Tyr.
Nimriel is
and-
stable at this point. I feel I should make that clear. Nimriel is stable. At
It
this
appears
time.
our last option is to make our way over to the Mage's Quarter. See if we can't find some kind of elixir or wizard who is willing to help us.
Seems like a good bet.
I guess we'll be going that way. Nimriel, I think. How are you feeling, Nimriel?
She's just gonna attempt to get herself off of the cart. Is that about
Oh
it?
no,
Yeah.
you hit the ground like a sack of shit.
Yeah.
Can Nemia try to catch her before she falls?
Yeah, you can catch it. So basically, as soon as her feet touch the ground, it's like, she's gonna be okay to support herself. Oh, that's right, knees don't work. So you do manage to catch her. She's moving very slowly. Well, she's moving
Alright.
herself very slowly. Once feet touch ground and she starts to go down, it's not moving slowly at all.
Well,
It's like a water slide. Gets
Yeah.
to the top and then it's like
Gone.
Off she
Wrong
goes.
liver, Kronk.
she'll put her back in the cart and she'll ask the deacon, "Can you at least give her some more physical strength for the time being?"
Thought you were going to say to give her some morphine then. I can ask Helm to watch over her, but that is all I can do.
you want to know some irony, guys? Her partner, her late partner, has disappeared. Is a doctor. I would have tried to reattach that arm. It's a massive kick in the vagina for her. It's already missing.
So as you guys are then if you're then leaving the city and leaving the temple and heading over to the main like the Mage District and Tyr temple,
Yeah.
I think when you're like about halfway there is when Grokash is going to be arriving back at the city. What would Grokash like to do?
So drop off the wolf pelts first
Okay.
at just where we live, and
Oh,
then
so you're
just
gonna go all the way back through the city to the Blue Stallion to drop the stuff off there, and then
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't
hand them
think you can. Oh wait, yeah. If I can hand them in, and that's more easily accomplished. I wasn't sure where I'd be handing them into.
Well, if she doesn't know that, then that is another problem.
well, I mean, you do remember that it was when you went out, you were. That's right, yeah, because you went out by the north gate. You came back in through the south gate because I got you guys lost basically. Yeah, so you went out through the north gate, and that was the guards. That was where the guards that were keeping track of the culling for the walls was where they were situated.
Yeah. So I guess in that case, find the board, or like see if there's the poster that gave us the job in the first place, and then hand the wolf pelts back in.
Well, I mean, the board that gave you the job in the first place is at the Blue Stallion.
Oh well, fuck it. Looks like I'm going home.
Okay, so it's going to take you with the sled trying to get through the city. It's probably going to take you about half an hour.
Oh, well,
Possibly, probably a bit longer than that, given the route you'd have to take.
So his plan would essentially be to dump them there, and then go looking for the group by asking people if they've seen like.
Hang on, don't you have to go over the bridges?
You would need to go over the bridges, yeah.
Yeah, so there's also the chance he'll come past us anyway, wouldn't there?
No,
that's true.
No, because you guys are significantly ahead of him. Because you got back to the city. You got back to the city about 40-ish minutes before he did. So even taking into account you guys having spent 10-20 minutes or so in the religious area of the city, you're still going to be significantly ahead of him before he gets then through the city to the bridges.
Yeah, all right.
But yeah, so that'd be his plan. So to dump the stuff at the stallion, and then go looking for them, and he'd just be asking around for, have you seen, like a gnome, a one-armed lady, and another.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, he'd be just trying to identify them as a group because they're noticeable.
Okay. Right. So we'll come back to you in a bit then.
I think at this point on our way to the temple and the mage quarter, we can probably send Rollenhammer to the Blue Stallion to rest up.
Yeah, you can do that. So he'll head off to the Blue Stallion and go. He's going to go straight to his bedroom. Hey, baby. He's going to go straight to his bedroom and promptly fall asleep because he is severely wounded still. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, you guys are you're heading. You're going to continue heading off. Are you going to go to the mage district? Are you going to speak to the mages, or are you going to head to the Temple of Tyr?
Well, we know exactly where the mage district is and a good place to go, and so Nemea will follow Pook, but she's going to keep an eye out for the Temple of Tyr for future reference.
The Temple of Tyr is this building here, by the way.
He got the biggest spot for himself. Alright.
Okay, thanks.
Hon.
I vaguely remember that from a comic that I shouldn't remember. Anyway, carrying on. Okay, so you're heading to the Mage District. So if you're heading to the Mage District, then Pook's taking lead on this one. I think was the plan. Yes.
Yeah. So I think the first port of call will be the Mage Quarter Library, if that's okay.
Yep, you can do that. Looking for books on how to stitch limbs back onto Arsenal.
Yeah. Just give me about 7 days of research, and I should be more than proficient. Yeah. Okay.
Because it's not like the arm isn't a raisin or anything.
So when we get to the library, is the Elven assistant there, the one that I usually deal with?
Yep, she's there, and I think
Pook's cheating on the mayor.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, she does not handle the sight of such a grievous injury that well. She's gone very, very pale, even by elf standards.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough. Still your nerves. We are in need of assistance, dire assistance, as you may see.
There are no doctors here.
I can see that. However, we have run through all the alleys we can think of, and we are now returning to the Mage Quarter, and we need assistance. Please tell us, pray, is there anyone who can help us, who has the magical capability to heal?
healing magic is not really the sort of thing that wizards and sorcerers would work with. This is the remit of bards and druids and clerics.
Yes, however, I'm aware that a few wizards are having access to restoration spells, both literal and metaphorically. You must know of some.
She cannot remember any.
Is Namil aware of what's happening?
Can Pook give me a...
Please say Arcana, please say Arcana.
Yeah, it is going to be an Arcana check. It's going to be either Arcana or History. You can have an Arcana check.
Can I do both?
No.
Was that and add them both together?
Yeah. Oh, look at that! I got a 45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with a 15, as you're racking your brain trying to think of spells and things you may have heard of and things you may have read before, you do remember that this really isn't a field of wizardry. The nearest you get to being someone of that skill type, having the ability to repair a body in such a way, is a bard.
Okay. Well, if you're not aware of anyone like this, please tell us where is the Bard's College in Neverwinter.
The Bardic College, it is nearby actually. It's just the other side of the main campus for the Mundane College.
And who is the Guildmeister, pro tell?
Oh, you would make me come up with a name, wouldn't you? Let me get my phone.
Yes, I would.
I thought you said Guildmeister.
Players, man. They're just
to be fair, it is actually the correct term, because it would be a Meister that would be the leader of the Bardic colleges.
Yeah, transcendental knowledge.
Got this fantastic little app, the Fantasy Name Generator. What's he going to be first?
What
First
a
of
wonderful
all,
website.
What? I've got the app. They are a...
Let's get the app.
Yeah, I know. It's almost like like I try to get tools that are somewhat useful for me. Hang on.
Where's mine?
Huh?
None for you. It's all for me.
You are the worst kind of person.
Oh, you have Jello. Okay. Right. So that's that. So that's this on here, because then this involves everything, including that sort of thing, and they are a... Well, that's just horrendously convenient because it means that it's actually a very... Oh, that works as well. Okay, yes. The Meister, which college are you looking for? Because the... if it's a knowledge you'd be looking for, the Master, the Grand Master of the College of Knowledge is Sam Lancaster.
That's a good name.
Rather than knowledge, we're looking at arcane capability to heal my friend here.
Hang on. Right, okay, that's that one. Oi. Well,
Yeah, Pook's in game because the DM has to frantically search through every book he has
Yeah.
to find the answers to the questions that Pook...
well, she does say, well, there are only two colleges. Sorry, there are only 3 colleges present in the city of Neverwinter that actually have a college campus, which is the colleges of Glamour, Knowledge, and Valor. And of those 3, you would find the College of Knowledge would be your best chance at finding the information that you seek.
And the capabilities.
What do you mean the capabilities?
The ability to reattach the limb.
Well, that would be down to whichever bards are present at the time. I'm afraid that's not information I would have.
Fair enough. As
She seems to be
usual,
quite flustered.
As usual, you've been incredibly helpful, especially with such a horrific visage in front of you. I commend
Oh,
your
it's okay. You're not that
professionalism.
ugly. Sorry, I couldn't resist it. It was low hanging fruit.
Everybody thinks you're a dick.
Thanks for checking in. You're still a piece of garbage.
Insulting jingles. Okay, so I'll turn to the party. It seems that we must rely on the bardic colleges in this instance. I'm not overly pleased in this, but if it will reattach her limb, then it's
What college is Grokash?
Valor.
Valor,
But-
thought so.
He's lesser, like... I don't
Yeah,
think he get
he's-
along
he's-
with bards.
Yeah, he's not a proper bard, is he? So in that regard,
No.
He's like half bard,
yeah.
half badass.
Yeah.
Right,
Eh.
then I suggest we post haste make our way to the College of Bardic Knowledge.
Okay, so it only takes you like a couple of minutes to get to where you need to go to, because obviously you've got the cart wheel along, which makes life a lot easier. So you get to the College of Knowledge, and this actually looks like a proper college campus. There's a relatively large building. There's a nice green open area. There's a lot of trees in it. It's got there is quite a few bars that are sitting around in like groups of 3 and 4 with instruments. Some of them are actually like having a little thing where they're playing along together. Some of them there's like one person playing and the others are just like watching along and they're taking it in turns. Some of it is like they're not actually playing music or anything at all. They're just like sitting around talking, comparing notes. They've got like multiple books open around themselves. It is like a classic sort of like Hollywood university campus sort of scene.
So it's Oxford.
But yeah,
Yeah, okay.
even down to the faintly cheesy smell.
So is it like an open campus? We can just walk onto campus? Or...
Yeah, you can just walk onto the campus in this one.
So I'll gesture to the party to follow Pook onto campus, walk through 3 arches, and I'll approach the nearest, what I presume to be bard.
Mhm.
Sir, we are in dire need. Could you point us in the direction of the Guildmeister?
This sort of time, he's probably taking his evening, like an evening meal. You'd be best off trying the main hall.
You've been most helpful. Directions, please.
And he points out the way to go through, and it basically just points you towards the main building itself. And it says if you're going through the large entrance, basically a set of doors that are essentially always open. So it points you to go in that way, and then it's like it's in to the left. It'd be really, really obvious.
Okay. So I will walk as fast as my little legs will carry me towards and gesture for the party to follow.
Enemy is pushing the cart, checking in on Nimril as they go.
Nimriel has slipped back into like the phasing in and out of consciousness. Just occasionally
Not
wakes
dead
up.
though, right?
No, not dead. No, you're not dead. You're not bleeding out. You know, you are in that regard. You are okay.
Good.
Okay, so you get into the large building. So like there's a bit of a hush as you go in. Like you can feel like
Okay. So is this? Are we actually entering into like the mess hall, if you like? Because if we are, I'd like to ask the party to stay outside.
You can ask them to stay outside. I mean, when you say the party at the moment that's with you is just Nimir and
Yeah.
Uriel.
Remain here.
Awkward.
Pook will step
Do you want the
into
arm?
the mess hall. No, you may hold on to the arm.
So
Keep
there's a
it ha-
few.
keep-
There is
Keep
there
it
is a
handy
few.
though.
There's a few people that busy back and forth, and they're just like that they some of them notice you and like take a look, but then just carry on doing what they're
Can
doing.
I-
Some of them stop to have a quick chat with you about what's going on. So there is some interest in Nimriel and Nimir. partly because of some.
They're outside, are they not?
Yeah, but there's still students walking in and out of the
Oh, I
building,
see.
sort of
Right, okay.
So just
Can
letting
I-
them know what's going on whilst you're inside.
If people
Yeah,
are
cool.
actually asking her things, she's gonna be like, man, she's gonna explain what happened and be like, do you know anyone who can help us?
If you've got any friends,
Yeah.
do you know
Casually
anyone who's seen
waving
a friend?
Nimriel's
Um,
arm. Help!
No, she's not gonna do that.
Can Pook see anyone who's clearly the Guildmeister?
There is someone sitting at a the main hall. There is a large sort of like open area where there's several table things with chairs all around them, and there's a stage, and I've got some issues with my Discord is cutting out. But I think it just dropped. Can you guys still hear me? No.
Someone dropped. Now someone's back.
Yeah. My Discord just blew. I just saw it go red and then come back on again. Yeah. So you've got a nice large sort of like open area. There's like a classic thing of being like a large hall area with a stage area as well, as one would expect for a bardic college. But there's also on like the other side of the hall, clearly like an out of the way sort of place. There's several much more cozy sort of like smaller booth type places, and you do see that there's a couple of older gentlemen who clearly are more like a professor than a student.
Is there one who's perhaps more ostentatiously dressed than the others?
No, it doesn't. There's none. They don't really stand out from each other, but it only takes like literally just to go up and ask the first one to be directed to the right guy.
I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is I'm going to what's around me currently? What I'm trying to do is just kind of blend in.
Well, I mean, there's a number of people that are bustling back and forth. Some of them with that are walking along, tuning an instrument as they're going. Some of them walking along with notebooks and stuff in their hands. Some of them walking along with a tray with food and stuff. This is the mess hall type area, as you said before, and there is an area off to one side near the stage. So if you imagine the shape of a nice large hall area where you got like the stage area, and then like the booths is like the food area is at the top corner of it essentially.
I'm going to go towards where food's being served, but slowly. I'm not rushing to get there. I just want to look like that's what I'm doing. Okay. And I will cast message on the person that I believe it appears to be the most important or the most likely.
Okay, well, there are in these about a dozen or so booths. There is 7 individuals who, and they all look about as important and about as old as each other. There are 2 females. That you can't really tell what race they are in terms of being different than a human. There are 5. The other 5 are very clearly male, and one of them is a dragonborn.
Okay. I'm probably going to cast message on the nearest female.
Okay. So we'll say that the female is like the 3rd one up.
Okay,
You're going to cast message on the female. So you point your finger towards a creature within range and whisper a message. The target and only the target hears the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear. You can cast a spell through solid objects if you are familiar with the target and know it is beyond the barrier. Magical silence, 1 foot of stone. An inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood blocks the spell.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
So I'm going to whisper into her mind, and I'm going to say the following: Meister, myself and my party are in great need. I do not wish to cause a fuss, but I do wish to meet you in private.
So she does look up from her meal and she does some sheet music and stuff in front of her, and she looks up from it, looks around, and so it sends back a message. This is very improper. You should at least introduce yourself.
Well,
I apologize. You are speaking to there we go, Amastair Warren Gebetto Pook Temepin of the Temepin clan.
I do not know this name.
Most don't. Please, if we could speak in private. I do not wish to cause you unnecessary discomfort by distracting you or by causing a scene.
I'm not entirely sure what is more private than back and forth with messages in our minds, but if you can think of something more private than that, I would be very intrigued to make note of it.
Very well. One of my associates has been unfortunate enough to suffer a grievous wound. Her arm has been torn asunder from her body by a dire wolf. Pray, do you have or do you know of anyone with magic to heal this?
There is none here that I can think of that are currently in residence of the college, but I do remember there being a tale of a druid who lives in the woods who may be able to perform such a magic.
That is most helpful. Where might I find them, and what is their name?
I'm afraid that's not something I actually know. I just remember there being a tale of a great druid in the woods who was able to perform acts of healing.
As a knower of tales, do you know the tale, or do you at least know someone who does?
This is the College of Knowledge. There will be someone here who knows the tale, but I'm afraid I do not know a complete listing of all of my students.
Fairly well.
This is a place where knowledge is brought together and pooled. This is not just a library or dispensary of stories.
I'd like to imagine at this point that she can hear in her mind like white noise, because I've actually walked out of range at this point.
Fair enough.
While she's in mid-sentence, just clearly exasperated. And I will walk out of the main hall, past the party, muttering, but loud enough for everybody to hear it. Now, I understand that a College of Knowledge cannot have every piece of knowledge ever, but god damn it, surely they would know. And I'm just walking off, and I think it's quite clear to the party that I didn't get what I was looking for.
Well, from this, there is a silver lining. Grockash knows what he's going to do with his life now. He's going to set up a fucking hospital for the richest man ever, because apparently there's a huge fucking void.
I found my niche.
No,
Yeah.
it's possible that there is a huge void of this sort of thing within the city. It's also entirely possible that you've been asking the wrong people and wrong questions. That is another possibility as well.
There is no conceivable way that there is a person with the ability to heal that is not known enough by people like that.
Have we even gone to that temple yet?
How often do you think?
No.
How often do you
Namia's
think
about
there
to
are
get to
there are
that.
accidents to the level of a limb being removed?
In a world with adventurers, I would
Wow.
say it's at least monthly.
Monthly. It's a regularity,
But
but
bear in mind,
usually they die.
the vast majority of things, the vast majority of things that result in the removal of a limb also result in the removal of heads, hearts, and various other bodily organs that are somewhat more significant to the function of a creature than just the arm.
I would say at least 3 or 4 pints per quarter.
So Namia's gonna grab, before he gets too far, Namia's gonna grab the back of Pook's robe and say, "What happened? What did you find out?"
Nothing.
Fuck all.
I found nothing from the College of Knowledge.
Well, then let's go to Tyr's temple. It's near here.
It's either that, or in fairness to the College of Knowledge, they said that there may well be a druid nearby. But in keeping with their complete lack of their namesake, they could not tell me where or the name of the druid.
I love when Pook gets stroppy. It's very entertaining.
Well, let's go to the temple of Tyr.
Okay.
I don't know what else to do.
Because religion has been so
They can't
helpful
help
so far.
Well,
I'm
apparently
sorry, you did
the
this,
college wasn't helpful, and neither were these people. And she motions wide arm to the bards.
Yeah,
There's a few that do.
apologise, you didn't
There's a
deserve
few
that.
that do kind of look up and
What do you mean, these people?
The one she catches staring at her says, "Well, do you know how to replace a limb?"
Hippies and
I mean,
communists, a lot of you.
I don't know how to do them, but I mean, there is that story of oh god, what's his name? Some elf bloke, Tulrid, something like that. Yeah, there's some elf bloke called Tulred. I remember something about being something. There's definitely a colour in there. And he lives in the woods to the north of the city. I don't know exactly where I'm afraid. I imagine he probably moves around a bit. But yeah, there's a druid who lives out that way. Who's he spends his time healing animals that get attacked and like poachers instead of the actual proper hunters. He puts them back together again after taking the poachers apart.
Tell me, sir, are you a Meister of this college?
No, I'm just
Professor,
You should be.
A professor, maybe?
no, I'm just a student.
It just seems that you possess something that most here do not.
Are you one of these guys who expects the Meisters to know every single story that's ever been coming around in this land and every single detail of it? Because I gotta tell you,
Any
there
story, any
is
fucking story would be useful.
there is a lot of stories and a lot of songs. You mean the Meisters are only mortals, aren't they? You can't expect them
They
to know
have
everything.
one fucking job. One job.
I'm done. Oh Jesus, cook Des. Oh, love it.
Okay.
In case you're wondering, it wasn't Sam Lancaster you spoke to.
I figured that, as Sam Lancaster, I imagine, would be a male.
Why the fuck did they not say? Hey, Jesus, motherfuckers! That's it. I'm burning this culture.
I mean, Pook elected to talk to one of the girls, so you know.
Okay, so what do I have to roll to burn down the college now? Sir, could you guide us in the direction where you believe this druid may be?
He said north, didn't he?
Well, I mean, there's the woods north of the city. It's up past the mountains. That's as much as I know. I mean, it's only a very, you know, it's more like a rumor than like an actual hard and fast thing of like, oh, the great tale of Tulred the whatever. You know, it's just that there is a few stories, a few rumors that go around of a druid who kills poachers and heals animals.
Wait, he kills. For fuck's sake! This guy's useless to us anyway.
He
There's
is
always
definitely not going to help us.
She's in there.
Well, no, I mean, even beyond that, that was just kind of an OC comment. I mean,
Well, I mean, are you guys poachers then? I mean, why wouldn't he help you?
We are now.
wouldn't we be considered poachers?
Fuck yeah! We just killed. We killed animals for their skins.
That's what I'm thinking.
Pretty
That's
much the definition.
The definition.
You know,
Well,
right,
I mean-
okay, I'm going to let all of you, at this point, I'm going to let everyone, the whole party, do an intelligence check. Everyone can do an intelligence check. Just a straight
Wait,
intelligence check.
I'm
Even Nimriel.
But I'm not there.
No, even you.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'll offer a lot of help here.
I have a brain. You do not.
Well, to be fair, I rolled 9.
You have a -2 on your intelligence.
Do you guys know the difference between saving throws and checks? Get it together, Badger.
Mate,
That's
I rolled
part
a
of the
fucking...
intelligence roll, don't you
I
know?
rolled a 7. Calm down.
To be fair.
Why is
Um,
he got -2?
Hey, don't forget, poaching is illegal. State-sanctioned culling is not.
Oh.
I'm not
Alright
sure
then.
a druid in the mountains is really checking his status.
Well,
and
it is his
laws.
NPC. Let's
I
be,
mean-
let's be fair.
I mean, the other thing is,
just before
unless you go
you
into
have a
the
license.
woods, unless you go into the woods and he sees
Today
he
was a big
sees you,
surprise.
if he sees you doing horrible things to the wild animals in the woods, you might have something to be worried about. If you're not doing horrible things to the animals in the woods, if you are like actively trying to seek him out and not bothering the animals, I mean, poachers don't tend to go for wolves and stuff. Poachers tend to go for like the things that can't defend themselves.
Oh, you see, this is awkward because that poaching license, it went out of date last month. I mean, if you were here a month before, then this would be a different story. Oh yeah, but the office was closed. I'm sorry, I'm still gonna have to kill you.
I'm gonna adjust all of the DCs for finding this guy now.
Oh dear God! No,
Just because.
Mia's never gonna get her arm back. Oh my God!
Yeah, hang on, I've got something down here for you. I've got
To be
something
fair-
special. This is the rod you just made for your own backs.
Were the two in there with Pook
No, they weren't
whilst
in there.
these people were talking?
They-
Okay.
and
No,
he was
Namia's
doing
the-
mental talky stuff as well. He wasn't actually speaking it out loud.
I was just thinking if they like talked as much as they
Well, I mean,
did with someone's arm in front of them, I'd be like, "What the fuck, cunt?"
Grokesh wasn't there, and you know, the people that were going past back and forth. It is one of them that is told this story. Like, you know, there's a druid out in the woods to the north, supposedly, reportedly, that has got, you know, he's a master of healing magics.
Now, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I stoop to bardic knowledge, no offense to Grokash meant. But I feel we may need to visit the Temple of Tyr.
I did not mean to roll an arm strike. Let's be clear.
Well, you missed me anyway, so screw.
I mean, besides, if you're holding it, then you are armed as well, technically. But
Hey!
No,
Nimriel
she's
in the
got
unarmed.
the arm on her back.
You've strapped it to your back.
Well,
Okay, so you're gonna
That's as
you're gonna
good a
go
place as any for it.
you're gonna go to the Temple of Tyr, right? Okay, so you head across the way. You head across the way to the Temple of Tyr. It is a very much more ostentatious, like marble, granite, gilding, the whole works.
Namia's feeling like emotionally exhausted at this point, but she's just going on.
Namia's feeling emotionally exhausted.
Yeah. Yes, whatever the hell. But she's still trying to keep Nimrael in touch with the world. But once they get to the temple, she's gonna look for the first person who appears to be wearing Tyr's
So
vestments.
there's a lot more people at the Temple of Tyr, and it's very clear that, you know, that there is definitely clergy and supplicants, and there's one who's going around. They're relighting some of the candles that have burned down, like replacing the candles and relighting them again. They have a smoking censer is hung from their waist around their belt.
She'll approach the person who's dealing with the candles and has the censer and says, "Is it a female, male?"
This is a male. It's a human. Appears to be
Sir.
about 60.
Is
my child. How can I aid you?
Is there a priest or a holy?
I am a priest of Tyr.
We've traveled through the city. We came in through the south gate. Our friend here, she puts a hand on Nimrael's hair. She suffered a horrible wound and she's lost her arm and to help us.
Yes, I can see that she is quite severely wounded. What? This is not normally the sort of things that we would deal with here. I can see that obviously the spirit of Tyr is within this one here. She has been clearly maimed as he was.
Would the temple be able to help her? She is a member of our mercenary group, and it is her livelihood to be able to fight to protect herself and others.
Well, what would you have me do?
I gotta figure out how to say this without being like just have be. Okay.
Well, this is, you've gone to the Temple of Tyr, which is the Tyr is the maimed god. They are they are a god of justice. It's they're very much based around law, good, rightfulness. They tend to be very heavily worshipped by like warriors and judges and stuff. But they're not, they're more they're more likely to bring peace to someone than they are to put them back together.
Appeal to their better nature.
Nemea says, "Is there
How was the wound caused?"
in an effort to help the city? There's a bounty on wolves."
It is as if she is almost an avatar of Tyr, losing her right arm to a hound. It is. Tyr would laugh. Tyr would laugh.
Would Tyr help her arm reattach to her body?
I can see whether or not that power is within us this day.
That would be amazing. Would you like to see the arm?
Oh my god, I got that image of Toy Story in my head where he's waving the arm.
Nemea's got kind of a crazed look in her eyes as she says it.
I think the power to do such a thing, to reattach a limb, it is a great amount of power that is needed, but I am able to call upon that power. I've spent many years in service to Tyr, and I am graced with many of his I am graced with much of his divine will within me.
And humility. I can sense the humility.
You're not there.
Nemea
That's
takes
why
the
you
arm.
can't hear me.
Nemea takes the arm off her back and she holds it in front of her and she literally falls to her knees and offers it to this dude. Please
So
help.
he takes it and he takes a look at Nimriel's wound, he gives it a proper going over, and is like, this is going to take some time. Please bring your friend with me. We'll go to one of the cloisters where there will be some peace to carry out the ritual. And he leads you to the back of the like towards the back of the main room.
She gets up and she's kind of huffing and puffing weirdly, and she pushes Nimriel through.
Okay. So he takes you to one of the cloister areas, and he directs a couple of the other like the acolytes to come with and basically be nurses in this regard. They pick Nimriel up, pop her onto this large stone altar that's in the middle of the cloister area, so that instead of having to like rock back and forth on the cart, it can actually be nice and steady and stable. And the deacon he takes hold of the arm again and like positions it where it would be on the large stone slab, and he starts chanting, and like he passes his hands over the wounded area and things, and he's clearly going through a very long prayer ritual type thing. This is something that is it becomes apparent that this is going to be some time. So it's going to take about an hour or so to do this. Is anyone going to try and find Grokash to get him here, or are we leaving Grokash at the Blue Stallion? Or like he said, no, sorry, he said he was going to be looking for the people, looking for the party, didn't he?
Yeah, just asking people if they've seen them travel, like identified the group.
Give me a persuasion check. So basically, as you're heading through the religious area, you're asking people as you're heading through that area to get to the Blue Stallions. Have a persuasion check as you're heading through that area.
Boy.
Nothing's come up for me yet.
Oh, I rolled 19.
It's weird how it doesn't seem to be coming up. I wonder if maybe we've got some problems with my internet lately.
It could just be latency or something, I don't know.
Yeah, could be. There we go. 18. Yep. So they, you ask around, you get a bit of direction saying, like, "Oh yeah, cross the bridges, and you start. So you think maybe heading to the area. You keep on asking around. So in your next area, as you're asking around, trying to get an update on the directions. Let's have another persuasion check from you to see how well you're able to do this.
I got a 17. Don't know if it's popped up yet.
Hasn't popped up yet. I'll give it a moment.
So if people start giving me the long and the shorts. Oh yeah, no one can actually help. Back off.
Mm. Yep. So they say, oh, that you see a couple. You get the same story from a couple of people saying that they think they saw people matching that description heading off towards. They seem to be they overheard them saying they're heading over to the Mages district, so they're heading over that way. And I think once you get to that area, I think it should just be. Let's have an insight check from you once you get there, and because I imagine that you would know to head to the library after having knowing what Pook is like and how he would go to those sorts of places and locations. 2 seconds.
Oh boy. This is the good rolls. You guys have been taking all the bad ones.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So you.
I had a bad hand.
So yeah. So it doesn't take you too much to realise that actually, if they're in this area, they've probably gone to the temple as well. So you'll be arriving at the temple about halfway through the procedure, the prayer. If you make your presence known. Then you'll end up being taken through to where the rest of your companions, minus Roland Hammer, who's still at the Blue Stallion, are standing at near the door of the inside of this cloister, watching as the clergyman is doing his best to channel the divine power of Tyr into the marginally destroyed body. Apologies for the yawn.
Yeah, right.
Margins of Nimriel. So the party is almost all back together again. Let's see if Nimriel is, shall we?
Oh,
So, yeah. So the whole of the ritual goes on for an hour. During that time, it's very quickly the arm becomes reattached. It is a an incredibly painful process. Partly because of the fact that it's reattaching an arm, and partly because of the fact that the measures that were taken to begin with to make it so that you didn't just bleed out and die, with the healing measure that was used, essentially caused it to partially scar over. So part of
So it's even more damage.
yeah, part of this process is that it needs to undo that so that it can reattach it and then go through healing everything, including healing and regenerating the arm itself.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so you go through that, and so yeah, the whole ritual takes about an hour, and most of it is incredibly painful, except for the last 10 minutes or so, when it's more like a balmy warmness washing over you as you feel your body being repaired.
So she's just screaming away then, yeah?
I don't know. Would she be screaming?
Because I mean, normally when things are painful, it's kind of like, yeah, just grit your teeth and scream internally. But I think that because she's already so dazed, I don't think composure is going to be on the menu. So maybe a lot of whimpering and clamping down on the screaming, but it's getting out. It's getting out every staggered moment.
Yeah. So you just got the occasional scream, whimper, or yelp of pain.
Yeah, like a loud whimper.
Like that goddamn puppy.
Should we do it?
No.
Is
Nemea will be there offering a hand for her to clamp onto. I hate you so much.
Shit, they found out I'm a werewolf. Fuck. Gonna have to kill them all now. American Psycho style.
What was I going to say? Yeah, so you have an awful lot of pain, and you do end up remembering, very vividly remembering and reimagining the actual limb losing process to begin with. It is not a fun time for you at all, but your arm is reattached. It is all the marks and the wounds do heal over. There's not even really any scar tissue. I mean,
Wow.
there is sort of some slight discoloration, as if a scar that was really really old, but it's not it's not like that tight pink flesh sort of thing you get from scars that are quite fresh. This is something that it looks like maybe you had a particularly deep cut on the arm at some point 80 years ago or something, which is completely
like Deadpool when he loses a limb.
No. They're almost impossible scars. The idea being that the scar looks older than you are.
Oh, nice.
But yes, your arm is reattached.
I figure she's just completely exhausted after that, right?
Yeah, she's out for the count.
Yeah. Okay.
But the rest of you are there, and you've seen and heard the process.
Nemea, once Nimrel's out and her arms fully healed, she'll approach the gentleman she spoke with. He's the one that performed the spell, right?
Yeah.
What is your name, sir?
I am. Fucking hell, I know this. I have this one
Generating a new name.
Why am I forgetting the names of ones I've actually got written down? What the fuck is going on with this now? Jesus Christ! Because this is not the first time this person has appeared in the series.
So there's another follower of Helm in the groups.
Probably it seems like a.
There has been a need for people to visit the Temple of Tyr in the past.
No, I was referring specifically to when they went to the Temple of Helm, and you were like, people showed up.
Oh yeah. There's a follower of Helm.
Cool beats.
Well, don't think you're going anywhere. You're staying with this group.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not planning on going anywhere. I just think it's neat.
Where is?
Like a religious
Hey.
Catholic.
Just trying to save your arm. I'm invested, man.
She's asleep, okay? I mean, I thank you, but, you know, I'll save her thanks for when she realizes
He's
it.
alive. Yeah.
She's just not armed for that kind of engagement right now, you see.
Oh my.
Oh
Are
god.
you gonna do that the rest of the campaign?
That was actually just awful, and you should feel really bad about yourself.
Well, you see, I'm a master of dad jokes, so you'll always get really bad ones from... I'll be here all
I
week.
can't find the bit of paper. So we'll just say, just for now, we'll just say that his name is Alan, because I will.
Alan!
If I need to retcon it and he comes back up again for it, then I'll do so. But at the moment, I can't find where I have it written down what his name is, because
Okay,
both the Temple of Tyr and the Temple of Helm have both been visited already in the past.
Well, she will. When the next time she sees him, she will address him by name, and they will be whatever name is correct.
Yeah, I'll
Sounds like a
find it
prophecy.
and I'll put it into the Discord when I find it.
You sounded like you were reading some religious scripture there. She will address his name, and his name will be the name that he has been given.
The name. What's the name on your badge again? What?
That was me mocking the fact that you're like, what's the name? Hang on a minute, what's my name?
Yeah.
The guy.
Okay, your arm falls off.
No, I've spent so much
Just
effort.
gets up and it falls back off. Oh, doesn't seem to have worked.
It's like, oh, terribly sorry there. I appear to have regenerated the arm onto the table slab. I must apologise. Oh well, that's me all tapped out for magic today. Come back tomorrow.
Oh, God.
No.
Namia will thank Alan for his work. She'll shake his hand, and she will say, I will return to the temple, and I will tear.
I'll tell you what, they could use some word spreading.
Right?
You're mostly a follower of Helm, aren't you?
Yes, Namia's a
He-
follower of Helm, so she. I mean, that he's her bae, but you know she's not gonna ignore the fact that Tyr was helpful.
Is anyone a follower of Tyr?
No.
Hey, Nimriel is a follower of Tyr now.
Well,
She better be. Namia's gonna be on her about that too.
yeah.
Make her go to temple.
Yeah. So basically, as the prayer is coming to an end, and you like Nimriel's sort of like fading back to unconsciousness again, and that. So the party is all there. Everyone is present. With the exception of Rollenhammer, of course.
He was just standing over the side of some table drooling into a cup.
Well, that's relieving.
So Alan didn't have anything to say to her in response.
I can't actually remember what you said you were asking.
Oh, she didn't ask him anything. She thanked him and said she would spread
Oh
the word.
yes,
to you.
there's well, thank you, child. That is most appreciated.
And then she'll put she'll make sure Nimril's comfortable in the cart, and she'll turn to Pook and say, "I need to get hammered."
Yeah, I think a few
Last
drinks
time
through.
someone got hammered, an arm was lost. Now,
She slaps him with her tail.
Yeah, rolling hammered. I got rolling hammered.
oh, we got there. Hey,
Sorry, I was muted.
Oh, my Discord is really struggling to keep up. It just keeps
To be-
cutting in and out. It's very
To
annoying.
be fair, that joke was a bit long-winded.
Oh.
That's awful.
Oh my god, that was in poor taste, man.
May I suggest we retire to the Blue Stallion?
Yeah.
She will push Nimril and the cart to the Blue Stein. And so Grokash found us.
Yeah.
She'll turn, as they're walking, she'll turn to Grokash and say, "You would not believe how difficult it was to find someone who could help her."
Tell me the tale. And then after I've been regaled by the Grokash vows to himself to become a millionaire by learning how to restore limbs and setting up.
One thing
Yeah.
I will say of today, I've gained a newfound respect of you as a bard. A newfound disrespect of most other bards.
He met the average, and it didn't look good.
The worrying thing is you are distinctly above average.
Grokash being too dim-witted to really appreciate like any sort of insult in that, just smiles and is like, "Yes, I'm the greatest."
If it makes you happy.
Well, he doesn't say I'm the greatest. He's thinking it.
There's
But
very
yes.
few thoughts that Grokash has that he doesn't then voice, so I'm fairly sure that if he's thinking it, he's saying it.
Oh, he's smiling it. He's like
He's smiling.
You got to translate.
his entire body is just like, yeah, no, I am the king of this shit.
Right,
Ty,
I believe
check your
we've certainly
Discord, by the
earned
way,
some
sorry.
drinks.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't hear that come across.
Say again.
Are you all heading back to go and get drunk? I'm guessing
Yeah.
that
Yes.
Nimir isn't going to be
Yes,
working
most
tonight.
definitely.
No,
Fuck
Namia's
yeah.
not going to be working tonight, and she will actually like get Nimriel in bed, and she'll put some food and stuff beside the bed. She's gonna play nanny to get her set up, and then she's gonna go drink until she blacks out, basically.
Okie pokes. Nimriel is basically bedridden. So we've got Pook. Is Pook coming to go out drinking?
Oh, absolutely.
And Nimir's going out drinking, and Grokash going out drinking.
Yeah.
Namia's actually not planning on going out. She's just planning on sitting in the Blues Dome.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I
That's-
mean. Then.
that's
You know what I mean. You're gonna
Right.
go do some beveraging.
Hmm.
Okay, pokes. Right, let me find my list of little things I've got.
She's gonna tell them before they get too drunk, I'm not doing the damn thing tomorrow. I'm not gonna hunt wolves. I'm not gonna pick a booger. I'm not going to. I'm staying right here and I'm a long nap. There will be
Is
no
it?
wolf hunting, no carnivorous butterfly hunting.
Not sure you set out. You're cut out for the adventurer's life.
She punches Grokash in the arm.
Okie dokes. So, can I first of all have a D100 from Grokash?
Fuck yeah, you can.
Because we started. I guess you guys want to head then into the carousing.
64.
Does it count as carousing if you're not going bar hopping?
Things can still happen in the.
But yeah, I mean, you still end up getting to the point where you get so drunk you decide you're going to go off and like, oh, I really want to go get myself something to eat, so I'm going to go down to like.
Gotta
one
get that
of
kebab in me.
Yeah, you know, it's yeah.
Get some music going. Or is it just me that's fucked?
It,
Can't hear the music.
I've got it on quite.
Kebab, yeah.
I'm
What,
just
is that
changing
not how
my
you say
levels and
kebab?
changing everything else at the same time.
I just thought of a pretty nice song, and I just realised there's no music being played by this, which is the reason I didn't have music on.
Have you got any Skrillex?
No, please. Is that a reference to a recent movie by any chance?
No, actually. What movie would that be?
Deadpool 2.
Disadvantage!
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, just watch it. I'm not gonna
Disadvantage!
do
If you
anything.
talk about films I haven't yet seen that I want to
I'm
see,
not
I will
mentioning
imply disadvantage. All you gotta do is just disadvantage. Just shut up.
Come on, man.
Stop! Shut up!
I'm
Shut
done.
up!
No,
Your
stop
character's
yelling at
dead.
me.
Your character's dead.
Stop, done. Stop yelling at me.
He's dead now, reroll.
He's not even saying anything. God damn.
It's got,
Okay,
yeah, it's got fuck all,
well-
dude. I'd understand the need for me to shut the fuck up, especially with a movie like Deadpool, where it's not really about plot, is it? Really?
That's what? Yeah, wouldn't. I'm so confused.
Okay, so Grokash, you and Pook and Nemea are sat at the Blue Stallion drinking away, bevy after bevy, bevy after bevy, bevy after bevy, and you get quite heavily into your cups, and eventually you get to the point. Where you really need to relieve yourself, but you're not wanting to go into like queue for the single toilet that is there, because you really need to go, and there's 3 people there at the moment waiting, and like, oh fuck this shit, I'm going out back. So you
Damn,
go.
do I piss myself?
Wait, what?
No,
Really?
no.
Shit.
No. These.
Listen, you foul beast!
Fuck's sake. So Grokash goes out into the alley to relieve himself against the side of a building.
Oh, it's Grokash. Oh.
Yeah, and during this self-relieving process, he ends up getting a little bit snoozy, a little bit sleepy, and just like slides down the side of the building and ends up falling asleep with his tackle out in a puddle of his own urine. I'll tell you how he wakes up when we get around to that bit in just a few minutes. Let's go with Pook next.
Hello.
With a D100, please.
A D100.
D100.
Let's do this shit. 41. You level up.
Just go into the sewers and kill all the rats.
Yeah. You grind rats for 3 hours, and then sell all of the rat bones in Falador.
Oh god. Did you not see my one small favour reference earlier?
You got the reference.
Yeah.
Good old Fally.
But wait, no, seriously, were you never a member on that game?
Not for very long, no.
God damn it, there's a quest
Right.
called One Small Favour, and that is pretty much what you guys have just fucking done, walking everywhere. It's a very long-winded quest. Long-winded quest!
Okay, dokes.
Bye.
So,
Wow.
I'm done!
Pook, you get quite heavily into your cups, and you're
Is that a comment on my size?
okay. You get quite heavily into your filicans instead. Then, I don't know, it's whatever. You're getting drunk. And at some point in the night, quite late in the night, sometime between midnight and 2 a.m., Nemea, not entirely sure, you disappear. You were there, you were in the Blue Stallion, and then at some point you weren't.
I wasn't.
Yeah, you were. You just like, so she remembers that you were there, you were drinking, and then at some point you've disappeared. And we'll come into how you wake up in a few minutes. Nemea, have a D100 from you.
Are these 3 fuckers all just destroying themselves after fixing me?
It's been a long day,
Can you roll
man.
another D100, please? Because we've got a 63 and a 64, and you know they're all pretty close to each other. All two are a little bit different. Oh, and again. Go on, girl. One more.
Go on, why did it just roll a 1?
Well, it's when they're too close to each other. When they're too close to each other, they're kind of boring. To be fair, the higher or lower the number doesn't say with it being better or worse. It just says that it's different.
Yeah. I know. Truly random generators.
That's
That doesn't give me hope.
That's-
Right,
that's-
look, something sexual or
this is-
marital better not happen
this
here.
is quite an interesting one. Okay, so you do get quite heavily drunk, and you also, similar to how Pook does, disappear. You then also think, oh, he must have left the bar somewhere, and you blunder out of the Blue Stallion and
you
head
dare.
off
Don't you do it.
to try and find him. And we'll come to how you wake up in a moment. So,
Oh Jesus.
back to the beginning. Grokash wakes up in the alley, soaked through to his undergarments with piss, his own. He's not actually wearing all of his clothing. He's where is he going to go? He got the 64. Didn't he? If I can read the exact bit for it again. Yeah. So you wake up, basically drenched in your own bodily fluids. There are 4 assorted hobos, bums, gathered around you.
Concentrate.
They are each holding a piece of your clothing.
The fuck they are.
Yeah, no, they are. They're each holding some of your clothing, or an item of clothing, and yeah, that's how you wake up. Basically, those whole guys seems they don't appear to have been like, they haven't like gone through your stuff. They haven't like got your money pouch or your swords or your weapons or anything at all. They just like, you know, they wanted the clothes. They're like doing like the whole test fit thing of the shot of like trousers against their waist sort of thing.
I am Can I cast like, I think it's prestidigitation, or is it make something like loud? Fucking yeah. So I want to do like that, whilst using intimidate to scream at them to. Oh, I didn't cast. Choose a token on the screen. Fuck you. So prestidigitation, or however the fuck you say that word,
Yeah.
to like make. You know, in the first Lord of the Rings, where Gandalf's like Bilbo Baggins, and like everything goes dark and his voice gets.
Yeah.
You know, like that scene. I'm doing that with like.
Well, give me a
back my
Constitution
fucking clothes.
save. Give me a Constitution save first.
Okay.
You can cast it, and you do get that intimidation roll. But halfway through the your attempt at intimidating them, you vomit all down your front.
Shite.
Alright, well then I guess they have to die.
Possibly projectile vomit from the force of how much you were shouting and trying to intimidate them.
Unfortunately,
They don't appear to have
we'll
noticed
have
that.
to
Yeah,
kill
they didn't appear to notice you waking up, but the apparently you exploding with vomit. They turned to look at you, so oh, go, thought you were dead.
them. Thought wrong. Fuck. Is my weapon's probably not near.
One of them is holding your trousers. One of them has got your boots. One of them has got your jacket, and one of them has got your cloak.
Can I like make a lunge for the guy with my pants? I want to try and grab him.
Are you trying to grab him or the pants?
No, him. Like
You're trying
grab
to
him
grab-
by like the huff of his shirt kind of thing.
Sure, you can. I
lift
mean,
him up.
he's not going to move out the way or anything because he's not expecting to get attacked by someone who was projectile vomiting a moment ago. So yeah, you can grab hold of him. Oh wait, what? I just like. I wanted just need some new trousers. You look like you was dead. Sorry.
So I tell them to drop all my shit, or
So
I'll
they
tear this guy's arms off.
they sort of like huff and sulk and throw your clothes back down into the rather large puddle of piss and vomits that is
All
around your
those
feet.
fucking dicks. Okay, so I'll drop this guy quite unceremoniously and pick up my stuff and rumble back into the building to get washed, I guess.
Okie dokes.
Dick hobos.
I'm Poke, who
Hello.
rolled 41. So you do wake up in your own bed. You wake up in your bed and you're wearing sort of like a suit of clothing that's like cobbled together from bits and pieces of like skins of various different animal types. It doesn't smell very pleasant at all. But so you shock yourself out of it, and when you head down for your breakfast, you hear people are sort of like chattering about it, and like you overhear Cecilia, the Dragonborn. The Dragonborn barmaid who also works there. She's chatting to some people and saying, yeah, apparently it's like some weird clawed antlered monster been peeping in through windows and climbing on roofs all night last night. There's a lot of people got quite scared by it. No one knows where it's gone now though. Very weird. And she carries on serving other people.
Oh.
Was it short?
Oh.
Oh.
So yeah, that's what you got up to last night. Maybe.
So basically,
possibly.
in the night, I turned into Barney, the purple pervert.
More like
with
Barry. More like Barry the brown and furry pervert.
Oh, great. Just what
Just
I
when
always
you think you know who
wanted.
you are.
And Nemia, last not least, and having read through it, already my favourite. So you wake up in it's like a dirt floor, like straw stamped into the dirt. It's of a hut. You have a look out of the window and you can see that it's you can see like the edge of the woods. You're not entirely sure which woods it is, but you do recognise a lot of the farmland, and you do see the city on the horizon. So you know that you're not that far, but clearly your late night wandering took you significantly further out of the city than you were expecting. There is over the fireplace. There is well, beside the fireplace, there is a rather large cauldron that has been upended, and it looks like whatever was in the cauldron, most of it has been drunk, or consumed, or imbibed in some way. You are. You are, well, let's have a quick perception check from you, actually. Right, okay, so, 20. With that 20 perception. So, you, as you're waking up, and, like, you can see, like you're essentially, like, you're slumped, with, like, your back to the wall of this hut. And you look around and you see, as I said before, you see out the window. It's quite a low down hut, so you can see out the window. You can see the scene, as I said before. You can see the cauldron that's upended, and like you're like looking around the room. You can see that over in that corner of the hut. You can see your right arm. You look around again. You see like your left arm's over in the other corner as well. Your right foot seems to be about 4 feet away from you, and it's like impatiently, it's like just like it's like tapping the hoof.
What the fuck is happening?
There's no blood or anything at all. You can, you just like you see them, and like you go to like your hands are moving in the way that you want them to. It doesn't take much thinking about it to realise that for some reason, most likely to do with whatever was inside that cauldron, you appear to be what can be best described as modular.
What happened to her?
So
she's come apart, it seems.
yeah,
Yeah.
At the seams.
Yeah. But yeah, so you're looking around and you see that basically you're like a Ken doll or an action man that's been smashed to pieces, and just needs
those
to be
heads never go
popped back
on
together
your
again. But yeah, so you have a look around. At the moment, you are just head and
You're
tail.
in pieces about what's happening.
Okay, so my head attached to my torso?
Hang on. My Discord's just shut itself. Hang on.
The room by
Yeah, my Discord just horrendously shatters over there. Okay, so at the moment you are a head, torso, and tail. You can see your limbs that are then spread about. Your left leg is actually like just well, it's within arm's reach. Unfortunately, your arms aren't within arm's reach, which is a little bit awkward.
Can I control my body parts?
You've got complete control over everything.
Oh my god.
She's gonna be there screaming for a few minutes. There's no question about that. But she will.
And you're also hungover as well. I should say that seems to be something that should be mentioned at this point.
At least
The-
you're in no
the
danger of
screaming-
throwing up on yourself.
The screaming will stop after she realizes it causes great pain. And once she can actually see past the stars, she will try and control one arm to drag over towards her torso.
Yeah, and it takes a moment to get to work out exactly how you need to do it. You're almost like you're reaching around in the dark, you're trying to find something, but it's like you can see that your hand is reaching around in the dark, trying to feel something. It's very disconcerting, trying to work out angles and stuff. But you do manage to get to the point of having the pieces sort of your arm wriggle its way over to you.
Is anyone there? Help me!
No, there's you don't see anybody around with your nat 20 perception,
Okay.
but you're fairly sure that cauldron, dirt floor, forest, in pieces, probably a witch's hut.
In her hungover state, can she tell which side this arm needs to be attached to her torso?
Yeah. So whichever arm it was you were going for, you've got the right one on that one.
Alright,
Give me a quick sleight of hand check.
I hope.
So you managed to get to the point of getting the hand, the arm into position where it needs to be beside you, and you dig the claws into the ground and position the wrist to lift the arm up, so that it would be going into where it would need to be, and you feel a very weird sensation that can be. It's almost as if you could feel the word "schlip." As your arm very easily and harmlessly. No, there's no pain to it. It's a peculiar feeling. It doesn't hurt. It's more audibly. It's like you're feeling the word pop. And yeah, you just snaps back into place. You now have your arm or your left arm. I think. Did you say it was your left arm you were going for?
No, I didn't say. It would be her right arm. She's
Okay,
right-handed.
you got your right arm then. You've got your right arm.
She's gonna reach up to her face and she's gonna pinch her cheek to feel pain, to make sure she knows she's got this headache, but she wants to make sure is this real? Is this happening?
Everything feels fine as you go to you're feeling around for it, and you're touching your face. You do you squeeze your nose, and as you do it, it's you can feel the beginning of the word pop sensation sort of thing happening. So you're okay. It's you feel like you might be about to pull your nose off, but you feel like you've got you know where the give point is.
She's going to move around the room, occasionally calling for help, getting each of her limbs back and putting them in
And
place.
they all pop on without too much of an issue or anything at all.
Oh, damn.
Your armor is over in the corner of the room. Your armor is actually it's near to where your torso was. It seems that it essentially, without the limbs in place, most of it just kind of fell off. It doesn't look like it was forcibly removed. It looks like it seems to be a fairly obvious thing of this went just weird.
She'll gather her armor and weapons and whatnot, and she'll look around the room for any signs of someone living there other than this cauldron she's apparently drunk from.
No, you don't see anything around her at all. You get the feeling
So
that it definitely feels like this is a witch's hut. You're looking around the hut though, and like you don't see anything that looks like it's a particularly nefarious witch. You don't see anything. You know, you're looking around, you're like, oh, there's not like there's not horrible creature skeleton pieces around. You know, it doesn't look like this is sort of like the mad cackling sort of witch. You know, this isn't a black witch. This is a white witch. Or at the
So
very
there's
least,
no
a neutral
signs
one.
of like paper and quill and ink.
No,
Okay. Well,
not to hand anyway.
she'll use one of her hand axes and she'll carve something into the floor and it'll just say sorry in their best Hanover handwriting.
Okie
What are you
Um,
apologizing for?
she doesn't know, she's just terrified. Her body was in pieces, man. And she's just gonna kind of test things out. Does she feel like she's gonna fall apart in any second?
She doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart. You're slightly concerned that if you sneeze too hard, something might happen.
Okay, she'll kind of use her right arm to very tenderly pull on her left arm, but you know, if she feels that same sensation that she did with the nose, she'll stop.
Yeah. So you feel that it's like you can feel it like it's starting to go. So like you can feel this. Well, you know, when some in cartoon and stuff, you could like sort of thing happens. You can sort of like feel the beginning of the bit. You feel like you know it's gonna go if you put too much more pressure onto it. There's no pain. It's just a peculiar sensation.
Okay, she is going to walk her way back to town and immediately go to the Temple of Helm.
So you can do that, and
Wow.
I feel like that is probably a good point for us to stop before we start getting too heavily into anything else, because we are about 50 minutes away from our regular stopping time.
Man.
I don't want Sean to miss out on too much more stuff. Unless it also hitting itself horrendously.
Of the week of like
Sorry,
what
my
day?
internet is really struggling as well.
I think this was Thursday, maybe?
You would now be on your Friday, yeah.
okay. Jesus, week well spent.
Fucking
Yeah.
hell.
I tell you what, I had my intimidation all lined up for that fucking search. I'm still shocked. No one loses limbs in this city. It's incredible. It's common enough in like our safe world.
But I mean, this you had you didn't necessarily ask the right people. I think is the way.
Oh, see, can we ask what would have been the easiest thing for us to do? Like the first thing we should have done?
Before you answer that, DK, did you consider asking the guards? Because they would have been my first thought. Being like,
Well, we did say to the guards, we need help. Can we have a cart? But we did not specifically ask them. No.
yeah, okay. Yeah, although in saying that, I'm sure if they saw someone with their arm fucking off, they'd be like, well, you better take him to the place.
No information was volunteered from the guards, but we did not ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the person that you spoke to, Pook, in the Bard College, they
Yeah.
were not really a particularly high-ranking Meister, and
Yeah, I fucking noticed.
they're actually just a like a songwriter essentially.
More like a wrong writer.
Yeah, wronger.
Yeah, and see the you've ended up through more by luck than judgment. Ended up speaking to entirely all of the wrong people, and I say more by luck than judgment because like your dice rolls weren't particularly helpful to you in terms of directing you to the right people, which is a bit of a pain. But it is what it is, and there's nothing that can really be done about that. Yeah, like I said, what we'll do is we'll unless there's anything you guys particularly want to do, it's going to be done relatively quickly. I would rather end the stream here because my internet does seem to be failing for whatever reason. My internet is crashing out repeatedly, or it seems to be crashing out regarding Discord.
Yeah, I'm happy to cut it here.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we shall end this one here, and we shall find somebody to host. And one thing I do need to do as well is because of some absolutely bizarre reason, I haven't recorded the session, so I'm going to download this from Twitch so that I can upload it myself later. So that's going to be probably what I'm going to end up doing. Leave that to download overnight. But yeah, so all we'll do is we shall sort this here and find someone that we can host. So bear with just a couple moments, please. See who is on.
Just had a thought of who we could have looked out for. Like the Silver Talon surely have other representatives in the city.
Yeah, the thing about that, my thoughts on that was that we were gonna have to like pay
Yeah.
for the service, and I was thinking that if we brought that to them, not so much in Namia's mind. Namia's mind was like, oh my goodness, we need a miracle, we need to go to a temple, because that's what she was thinking was what was going to be the key.
Yeah.
And but I was thinking if we go to the Silver Towns, they're going to be like, what were you doing on your off time? Like, we're not paying for that. That wasn't on the job. This is not workers' comp.
Workers' comp for
Yeah.
adventurers. Jesus. Right. So we're going to go see Scaticus, who is currently doing some Dungeons and Dragons. So that's where the raid's going to go for on that one. Boom, 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 and there is the
That's a good
raid
point.
alert. So
Although they surely would
we shall
have been
see
able to...
you tomorrow night, my friends, when we catch up with the Sunday Wolves.
Thanks for watching.
So take care, everyone. Love you all. Bye bye.
Remember, never trust a bard.
What? Little one's bad.
Oh, dwarf.